Hello, welcome to History of Design. I'm Joel. I'll be your instructor this semester. We're going to go over the history of design as it pertains to graphic design, and maybe a little bit of other designs in there as well. It's a 16-week course. With that said, let's just jump in. I'm going to review Blackboard so we all know it. Hopefully this won't take too long. Then I'm going to jump in, start teaching you some stuff, start working on the projects with you, and then Thursday we'll continue that as well. We meet Tuesdays and Thursdays throughout the entire semester. I meet twice a week, as opposed to like some of the other courses you see meet once a week. It allows me to spread things out, smaller chunks, makes it so you can work on stuff. Maybe hit me up then, like start on something on Tuesday, and on Thursday when you talk, you'll be like, oh, I started this. I have these questions and I want more interaction. And just it allows me to spread things out instead of talking and droning on for hours and hours. And I'm going to work on projects with you. I'm going to show you my work process, help you out, all that kind of stuff. So that's why we meet twice a week. It's the same information, just much easier to get done. Again, you can come in, you can do it live stream, or every session is recorded and then uploaded. So you know that's all going to go on. I want you to come in if you want. I'm here on Tuesdays from 8:30 a.m. until 4 p.m. Tuesdays and Thursdays. I have classes that run, but I want you guys to know that we have like double screens. We have drawing pads. We have like so many other professional graphic design products for you to use that feel free to come in and start to use them. It's going to really make your graphic design better. You're going to learn these items that they use in the professional industry. So don't like, oh, I'm just going to work at home on my little laptop and scrunch my neck and try to work on a trackpad. That doesn't work. Like, come on in and work with me. Like, I'm here a lot. I'll be on here on Mondays and Wednesdays as well. And choose time. Come and use the professional computers with the professional peripherals. Like I said, like Wacom tablets, like XP Pen drawing screens, all hooked up, double screens. It makes your life so much easier. So let's work on, come on in. All right, let's go through Blackboard. I'm going to kind of do reverse thing here for a bit. Student resources, there's always resources available to you as a student. Get what you need. Don't wait, don't hem and haw. If you need help with something, reach out and use the support resources. The sooner you do it, the better. All of them, like accommodations, like stuff. Like if you're having trouble, reach out to accommodations. Work with them to work with us. Work with me. I'm here a lot. Communicate with me. The better you communicate with me, the better you're gonna do. If you just drift away, you'll be dropped. You're like, I don't know, I just this happened. You got to let us know. You don't want it to go against you. I'll talk a little bit more about that in a little bit. Syllabus grading outline. Let's do syllabus. This is the general syllabus that MATC provides. It is like kind of like quote unquote the legal contract. Everything is in here according to the school. And then you look at my grading and stuff, and that's it. Take a look through it, figure out, what you need to do. I'm not going to read through it because it's fairly short, but it lets you know all the info. And if I do something wrong, if you think I did something wrong, check the syllabus first. And then after that, you can question me on it. But it's just a syllabus. The big one most people are curious about is projects and grading. This outlines everything. So let me make it a little bit bigger for us to see. You'll have 3 big projects at A, B, and C. I'm going to take you through doing 3 different types of designs, many designs. It's going to be fun, but they're each like 5 weeks. We're going to take our time. We're going to have some fun. We're going to do it. You have 14 chapter designs. Each chapter you'll do a little design for. It's great. There's going to be 2 media reviews. I'll have you watch 2 videos outside of class. Just kind of really good to see how other people work. And then these quizzes are actually your attendance. It's how I take attendance for the course. If you don't do them, you're marked absent. I guess I'll talk about that now. If you don't do them, you're marked absent. You miss a couple classes, you'll be dropped from the class, and that's it. You gotta just do these things. You know, it's part of life. It's like having a job. You show up for your job, you show up for the class. You do the quiz to get your, for your attendance. If you don't do it on time, you didn't make class. Like, it's how it works in life. Oh, this needs to be adjusted. Oops, I'll adjust that. It's been adjusted. Sorry about that. And then this is our weekly breakout for the 16 weeks that we'll be working together. It's very step and repeat. And if you worked with me before, I kind of into that. Like it may seem like, oh, there's a ton of projects, but I gauge them like there's a couple 1 hours and then there's a 4. Like, so you're always designing. I don't want you just stuck on one thing and like, oh, you just work on this one project for like 4 weeks. Like, no, you're going to do like little projects, longer projects, shorter projects, all that kind of stuff. But it's very, as you can see, it's step and repeat. So like there'll be a chapter 1 design, a chapter 1 title design, a project A part 1, and the quick design challenge is your attendance. Then it's week 2, week 3. Like it's just repeated. So, but there's variation in the designs and everything like that. So it should be pretty interesting. We switch off. I have you switch off using Illustrator, using InDesign, using Illustrator, using InDesign. So you're working with all the projects as well. All right. Oh, this one isn't updated. All right. The rubric. Oh, it's in the other one. So for me, for grading, everything is done. Sorry, make this bigger. The same way. So all of my assignments are crafted in like step 1, do this, that, and the other. So I know if you did it or not. You know, like you're following directions. It's just like a creative brief. The client wants this, this, and this. If you don't include one, they're going to question you on why you didn't include what they asked for. This is what you're going to be dealing with on a daily basis in your life as a graphic designer. You get instructions. You have to complete all the instructions in order to get paid. It comes down to get paid and to continue working with somebody and keep getting paid. Otherwise, they'll be like, they can't follow directions. We got to use a different designer. So that's how I base it. So like if step 1 says craft 3 sketches utilizing only 2 sans serif letters, well, has the student created 3 sketches? Did the student employ sans serif letters? Have they adhered to our sans serif fonts, and have they used 2 letters? You know, like, so these are very concrete examples for me to say like you only did 2, you didn't do 3. You use a serif font, not sans serif font. So like it's very easy. My instructions are written out in this way. Beyond that, there is like, graphic design. I will be taking that into consideration. Sloppy design. I can tell sloppy, just general in general. So no worries there. Discussions, when there's a discussion board, you are to look at other students' work. You have to learn from others. You have to see what they're doing. You can either be like, oh, wow, they're good. Like, oh, I wonder how they're doing that. Ask questions. It is the form of critique for this class. So you should be looking at how other people work. They are your competition. May I say that? You're 3rd semester, right? This is 3rd semester, 2nd semester course, 3rd semester. It's your competition. So how are you judging yourself compared to what other people are doing? Should you step up your game? Like, oh my God, doing good. So those are for the discussion ones. I think most do have discussions. I don't know if all of them do. Late assignments, graphic design. I think you've all had me before, and so this is a time-based career. You will have a client. They will tell you, we need the project completed on this date. And if you don't have it completed on this date, they're not just going to be like, oh, that's okay. They're going to be like, oh, all right, you messed up a ton of stuff. We can no longer launch our product. People are going to get fired. Like, a lot can happen if you don't do your job as a graphic designer. Your work coincides with a lot of other people's work. So it's about turning things in on time and getting used to that. So late assignments for the first week, get a 12% grade reduction. All right, so it's 12%. After the second it's due, 12:01 on the day it's due. If it's late, it's late. Somebody had a meeting. You're like, oh, I have a meeting at 4. They left for their meeting. They started their meeting at 4. If you turned it in at 4:01, they're like, well, you missed the meeting, and then now we have to discuss other things. So late assignments is like it's a full grade reduction. And then I don't accept anything after 7 days after the due date. Pretty much no matter what. You have to really talk to me a lot and be like, and I need to know before, not after. If you tell me before that day, this happened, I'm gonna be like, all right, cool. We'll let it slide this one time. If you tell me after, like at day 9 after the assignment, you're like, oh, this and this happened, I'll be like, it's way too late. Like I needed to know earlier than later. Same thing you would do at a job. I'm taking vacation. You tell your boss in advance, and then you set things up. I had a car problem. We figured out you set things up. You know, like you don't, I'm sick. All right, I know you're feeling really crappy in your deathbed. Send me a message. I'm sick. Okay, I'll work with you. Don't tell me 8 days, 9 days afterwards, like, well, I was sick last week. I'll be like, I don't care. You should have told me way sooner. The things have moved on. It sounds strict, blah, blah, blah. Just turn your stuff in on time. So, and with that, like with the accommodations, know your timing, know your work ethic. If you are working full time, well, that goes to this. If you are working full time, figure out how many classes you can take, because as colleges countrywide, a 3-credit course, you are expected to spend 8 to 9 hours per 3 credits. It's a standard through every college. We're going to meet for 3 hours, maybe 3 hours a week. Then the rest is 6 to 8 hours is homework. So think of it as one workday, 8-hour workday per 1 3-credit course. So if you're taking 4 3-credit courses and working full time, you're going to be working a lot of weekends and nights. Just get used to it. That's what you've chosen to do. You can adjust, you can take less courses if need be. This is just the way it rolls. That's the expectations. And then my big thing is spread the work out over the whole week. Don't try to do it on the day it's due, because then you're stressing, you're screwing things up. Spread it out, work every day. Just set some time aside, work great. Yeah, so that's with that. So how to reach me if something does come up. Well, I have the assignment specific discussion boards. There's always discussion boards. You can email me at any time. My virtual office hours are Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. Just email me or text me. Let me know who you are. There's a phone number. Like, let me know as soon as I get the email, as soon as I get the text, as soon as I get the email. I was looking at the wrong screen. As soon as I get a text, I'll be like, oh yeah. As soon as I finish class, what time do you want to get together? Like, I can do it. I can do it after hours sometimes, you know, like on weekends. If you work with me, I'll meet with you anytime, you know, let's figure it out. You know, every once in a while I get to take my kids somewhere, or I'm in class, or I'm in a meeting, or I'm driving. I can't meet then, but we can meet anytime. I'm available all the time. I want you to talk to me. I'd love it if you all came in and just worked with me in the studio at these awesome systems that'll blow your mind and be like, wow, this is so much easier to work. I'm getting my work done faster and better, but that's up to you. And then I'm here to answer questions. So I'm always around, always talk to me, always stay in touch with me. If you ghost me and you get dropped, you ghosted me and got dropped. I can't help with that. So yeah, so always check out, you know, student support services if you're running into problems. They are great with working with all of that. Any questions so far? It's all there for you to read. Once we get designing, we're getting designing. Let's do, this is the other, there's a checklist I'm going to start using this semester. And this is just kind of like, so you know the rubric, and then you're going to start seeing this checklist included sometimes. And when you do something wrong, there's going to be a black check mark that I'll show you. And it just makes these are like the top 20 things that are always kind of done wrong. And so I can just click on them, send you a screenshot and be like, these are the ones you did wrong. And I take off 2 points per check mark. And these are just like things you shouldn't be doing and just have to get ingrained in your mind in graphic design. I need to just always do these things, and they're just normal. Did you use set up and use document bleed? Did you set up and use the margin? Did you set up and use crop marks? Is there spelling errors? Are you squishing and squeezing images? Are you squishing and squeezing text like in a unprofessional way? Yes, there's an unprofessional way. There's a professional way and an unprofessional way. I know when you took a paragraph and made it smaller the wrong way, rather than artistically changed a letter form to emphasize something. That's the stuff we're looking at. Centered body copy. We're not writing poems anymore. If anybody's in my 142 class, we'll learn about that as well. Bold body copy, all caps body copy. Widows. You'll hear about widows. If you haven't heard about widows, I'll teach you about those. Text in a text box, it's all like jammed up. Text next to an image is wrong. Hyphens, low contrast text. Text on a hard to read background. Not including white space in between items, like things are touching that shouldn't touch. Using drop shadows on body copy, outline body copy, and then just not saving PDFs correctly. So these are all standards that you'll just need to get used to never doing. And then, I just click on, send you an image and be like, these are wrong. It just speeds up the grading process. Less for you to read too. So that's also one way I'll be working with you and grading you. This week, if there's any questions, comments, or concerns, throw them out here. Awesome, I can answer them. Wonderful. Sessions are open. So this is session 1. We meet, a session is 1 week. So we meet 16 weeks. There'll be 16 sessions. Session 1 is open for 2 weeks and then it closes. That's that 7-day extra grace period you get, and then it's gone and gone forever. You can't turn in anything in after it disappears, unless you've talked to me in advance of it disappearing and we have set up specifics like you are going to turn it in on said date, past the due date, and then it gets turned in differently. So the sessions will open and then they close. So at one time you'll only see, I think at max is like 3 sessions. And I think it just makes it easier on you too. There's less to like, if we're at week 16, you're not scrolling through a ton of stuff. So there you go. How do I take attendance? Well, there's this little attendance quiz. It's 5 questions. You can use the internet. If you've had me before, I started rolling these out last year. These are graphic design questions. There's 5 of them. You can use the internet, whatever, just get it right. You can do it more than once. It's an easy A, and you just have to do it before this date at midnight. And then when I wake up in the morning, I check the attendance and I turn it into the college. So if you're late on it, I don't go back. You're late, you're late. You didn't attend class. Then if you miss classes, if you miss too many, you'll get dropped from the class. If you're dropped from the class, I'll be like, you haven't been attending, you haven't been doing it. And then you have to talk to the dean or other people, and it makes it all worse. And they're very strict on it because there is a new kind of like a new financial scam going on where people are taking information off the internet, like going to black sites, finding information from people, registering for college classes to get financial aid, not attending, trying to get the money. And then so the college is very strong on attendance and real attendance. Otherwise you get dropped and they'll just be like, yeah, no, we don't know. Maybe you're a ghost student. Are you scamming the college? Blah, blah, blah. So you got to be accurate on that. Let's look at that real quick. Start attempt. First question. Oh, wait, not yet? Okay. You can use your notes, the internet, or even phone a friend. The old, what does white space do to a layout? It improves readability and focus. Continue. And then you can even, if you're like, I don't know, then copy it, go to Google, paste it, hit return. Creates clarity, improves readability. Wow, Google just told me what it does. Perfect. Answer the question. So there you go. That's how easy those are. Takes you, it should only take you 5 of this 15 that's registered there. And do it. And do it by its due date, else you did not attend the class for that session. So this is both Tuesday and Thursday combined. So make sure you do that. Any questions so far? Any questions on that? Still rocking? All right. Midweek session project review. Mid-session project review. Post your work here. If you're working on something before it's due, of course, I check every day, Monday through Friday, Saturday and Sundays. I sometimes try and check in the mornings just to kind of keep things rolling. I know sometimes students work more on the weekends. I want to be there for you, but sometimes things just get a little bit busy. I can't always check, but I do try to check in the mornings. If not, it's like first thing Monday morning. Of course, with this, don't post it an hour or two before the assignment's due, that midnight, because I'm in bed. I go to bed, and then you'll be like, oh no, I posted it. I want to know what you thought at 10 o'clock, 2 hours before it was due. I'll be like, I'm sorry. Like, it's like working hours. Like, get it in, give yourself a day to make changes. But I will go through it. I will help you correct things. I'll tell you what to change. And if you change it, it's like basically guaranteeing yourself an A, and it's having my eyes on it. What do you think of this? How is this going? Blah, 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 anything. So if you kind of work earlier on stuff, you can use this and really like improve your work a lot. It's like having an art director. If you're at a company and you're working with an art director, you would once in a while show the art director your work and be like, oh, hey, how's this looking? And be, oh yeah, make sure you fix this up, change this, blah, blah, blah. We'll get it going. So there you go. So use that whenever possible. It's a great way. It's a great way just to have your work checked on. You'll be doing, the standard assignments. I'm going to back out of this a little bit. I know it gets small for you guys, but we'll have, this is a chapter assignment. So this will always have this chapter. You'll have a quick little typography assignment, and then you're going to have your large assignment. And there's specific parameters. I will talk about these two today, and then I'll talk about this one on Thursday, just to break up our time, to make sure I'm not running too long and we have things. And that's why we meet Tuesdays and Thursdays. It breaks things up. You can start working on some things, maybe wait on others. You may know how I work, and you can start on other things. You can click around, or then come preloaded with questions. You can type me questions and say like, oh, I do have a question before we get started on this or that or the other thing. And then you can use the discussion boards for that as well. So let's jump in. The invention of writing. Well, I'm going to talk about it a little bit. I've now made little slides. Let's see where it is. All right. Well, I'm going to show you this and then I'll open this. So if we go to the invention of writing, and you'll be like, well, what do I do? So I always include a PDF of the chapter. All right. It's there for you to download. I used to have it separated out. You download it, read through it. So when I say read through it, you don't have to memorize it. Like I'm not looking for, this is a textbook, and the chapter is 19 pages. You could, like, I almost want to say like speed read it. I know some of us, like, I'm a slow reader, but you can just kind of like, oh, like look at some things, it's kind of like as it shines throughout the world. And then you like see an image and maybe like, oh, what is this about? Okay. And then you read this paragraph, see an image, read about it. You will not be tested on like the, what year did this image come out and who was it? No, I don't do that kind of history design, history work. What you're going to be doing is creating a design based on something you found interesting in the chapter for every chapter. So there's going to be some more interesting chapters to you, some less interesting chapters to you, but that's how it's going to be. So you're going to just like go through it and you kind of like read through it and like check out some things. I'll give you some little like interesting points from the chapters as well, but you don't have to take my interesting points, but just peruse it. I guess that's the best way I can say, like peruse it. And if something you're like, oh, look at this, what is this about? Like dig in more and then like find some more stuff. So the chapter is there for you. And what you're gonna do is create a little design based on something you discovered from the chapter, The Invention of Writing. So you will, and then don't worry, I make it easy. All right. So you look for something, you're looking through the chapter, like, I'm going to pick this from The Invention of Writing, whatever it is. You're going to create a composition with more information about your topic. The composition will be designed in the style of your subject matter. So it should be like kind of reminiscent. I don't know. Papyrus, of course, don't use that font, but like maybe it's got a textured background, some other things. Include a minimum 200 words about the chosen subject. Uh-oh. Shoot. Wait, what? 200 words. For this part, you can use whatever means. You don't have to write it yourself. If you do use AI, please read it more than once. Make sure it is correct about your subject matter. I'm a little bit like, I'm half on the fence like this because it's the words. I kind of want the design to be prominent, but I want the words to also matter. But I don't want you spending 1 hour trying to write it. I would like you can grab it. Like if you go to the column of Harambe and you look up on it and you find like a section from the website, double check that it's 200 words, which you can use a ton of programs, and you can copy and paste that in. You don't have to physically write it, but it needs to be about the subject matter. And if you are going to use an AI post, like double check it. Sometimes they're wrong. The one that you do need is 5 new period correct images. So that I want you to find from the internet as well. And you have to make sure when I say they're period correct, later on in the chapters, you'll get a lot of people posting like fake ones. Like, oh, this is my Bauhaus poster. And it's not from the period, but it's somebody from last week who posted a design they made in the style of Bauhaus. But then you grabbed it and I'm going to look at it and be like, that's brand new. That like literally says like Coca-Cola on it. Somebody made a Coca-Cola poster. Like, don't use that. So 200 words in which you can find from the internet freely, which I'm allowing that, but I want you to make sure you've read it. And then 5 new correct images. Now for this first project, you'll create the document in Illustrator. Everything is here. You must follow all the instructions. And this is where I will start docking you, like where I'll be like, oh, you couldn't read the instructions. You did it wrong. Here, this is 2 points off, 2 points off, 2 points off, 2 points off, blah, blah, blah. So I can actually probably do this with you to show you how easy it is. I will, but I'll show you an example. And then you're going to save it. When it comes down to it, you're going to save it 3 ways. You're going to have your native file. You're going to do a client preview PDF and a print ready PDF. The reason is while you are becoming a professional, you will send the client a PDF, but you won't send the client a PDF with all the marks, all the like designer and print marks, because that confuses the client. Also, you will be sending the client a lower res because you're just sending them something to preview. They don't need a 400 meg file coming through their email. They just want a quick email so they can look at it and they'll know like, oh, the images are lower res, but when it goes to print, they'll be high res unless I've set up, and then I'll pay for that mistake. And then the printer gets a different PDF. And then that's why we go through this process. So you have your native file, a client preview that goes to the client. And if the client's like, it's perfect, send it to the printer, you would always, you would have your print ready PDF ready to go to print. And then you upload your working file and 2 PDF documents below. How do you put, you're like, how do I do it? How do I do it? As soon as you click on that, it opens up this line and you attach your documents here and you can type there. I'm pretty sure most of you have worked with this system before. It's pretty easy. I will show you, let's show you an example of somebody's work. And then I'll take you through the process so you know how to do everything today. Like I'll tell you through the process of setting up the document per my instructions so you know how to do it. I'm going to show you an example. It's an example. Let's just say it's an example. So this student has set up everything and added more stuff. So they have a background, they have images, they have a paragraph, the title, they have crop marks and a margin, and the margin is set correctly as a template. They have their artwork is all the way to bleed. They have 5 images. They have a title. They have their paragraph of text. I didn't download the fonts they used, so excuse me on that. It's okay. But this is the general setup. And I will be looking to see, did you use layers? Did you set up the margin right? Do you have crop marks? Are you using bleed correctly? All the mainstays of being a graphic designer that you have to do on every project, I'll be checking. And then I'll check for other things like spacing and alignment and like, oh, maybe you should move this or move that. Like things are too close to the edge, like all those other design projects as well. So these are supposed to be like kind of like fairly quick design bites, like you do it, you're going to do 1 a week. It's going to be switching from InDesign to Illustrator. You'll kind of get the hang of it. And each one will be the same system, which will be a title, a background, 5 images, 200 words. And then so it gives you that option, like, and the sizes will change. The sizes change each week as well. And so it's kind of like all the same information, but then you get to be creative in how you set it up, how you design it, how you do all that. But you'll kind of get in that system like, okay, I know what to do. I know what the chapter's on. I'll find my 5 images. I'll find my text. I'll get that one done one day. And then maybe set up the document. And then the next day I'm going to think about it and I'll come in and work on the design. So you can separate out your design process instead of, or if you choose, just try to do it all in one day right before it's due. I hope you get that I'm joking with that. So like that's a general setup. Like I said, I will go through that direct setup with you. And then the PDFs. This is a client PDF. And then the difference is, and then this is the print for press PDF in which the crop marks are shown and there's bleed for printing purposes. And then this would be high res. I didn't have our images that came across low res, but when you do it correctly, you can see I didn't have the fonts. I changed some stuff. So, and that is why. So one goes to the client, it's smaller, they get to see it, approve it. Then the one that goes to the press is high res, it has all the marks, bleeds, they can just print it and they'll take care of it. And I'll teach you how to do that as well. I'll teach you, if I don't get to it today, I'll get to it on Thursday. Like I said, I don't want to drag on forever. All right. The first week is about the invention of writing. What does that mean? Well, we weren't always writing. And before writing, we were just drawing pictures. We got cave walls. They're drawing, pictures of things, of their surroundings, or telling stories through pictures. But there wasn't, it could be interpreted in different ways. And once you start to write in which a universal, or say like I want to say it a universal symbol, but a recognized symbol in a singular society is used to represent one thing, that when you make a single mark, no matter what, that mark means, oh God, just sun. And everybody knows that when they see that mark, it's sun. Then you can start to write things. You know, the sun sets at 12 noon. Like then you can start to, instead of going from only speech, in which it's passed down from generation to generation, in which things change, to what they call a permanent record, where when it's stamped in or when it's written, it becomes permanent. And this is like recorded history. So like prehistory means it's before things were recorded so we could understand more. So like caveman time, we don't have a lot of information because they weren't recording things in a way that we could now interpret it and be like, oh, they blah, 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 blah. It was just like some cave drawings. Hope that makes sense. So like that's the start of this. Writing, the funny part is writing wasn't created for anything like really good. It was for business. People wanted correct, like, I'm trading you 7 things of hay for 1 goat. And if I just talk about that, or if we walk away from the agreement and I only bring you 6 things of hay for 1 goat, you'd be like, no, you said 7. You're like, no, I said 6. No, I said, but if I have a tablet that says this is what you get and this is our pay, now it's recorded. Now you owe me that. We came together, somebody stamped it in clay. I'll talk about that in a second. And then it's dried and it's permanent. Like this is these are transactional documents, you know, like, so that's what that is. And then to get there though, we have to move from symbols, from pictures, sketches of objects, to ideas of the object. So here in these like little pictures, like we show like the progression where you were kind of drawing like fish, a bird, axe, arrow, bot, like we're drawing the symbol, but then as the years change, it goes from like, see how like involved the bird is, and then it gets simpler and then simple. And then so what that does is it's just like for us, this takes forever to draw. This takes less time. And then this last one, even quicker, even though it doesn't seem as quick, these like triangular arrows, it's like push and drag, push and drag, push and drag, push and drag, boom. And everybody knows that these together means a bird, and I don't have to draw the bird anymore. So it is turned from a picture into a symbol. And then that's the cuneiform shift, is using a triangular tip stylus in wet clay. Scribes use wedge-shaped marks called cuneiform. This made writing faster and more abstract, moving away from little drawings. So that's, you know, like, and then there are items like this that show like the progression of like, in which will come up on saying words. Then there's a phonetic change. And then where these words, then we need single letters so we can write a full word. And then those symbols there's fewer symbols to create more words. So instead of a fish, well, what kind of fish is it? Now I can type out like haddock, pollock, you know, like whatever. It's a different kind of fish than just saying a fish. Oh, and this is where, sorry, phonograms. So this is where the sound writing, so these are the styluses that were used. And then this is the phonograms that like, this means like sky heaven changed to this symbol, which means an, or this is ki, lu, muna, you know, like woman, and like how it changed, but we're starting to make like changing it to a phonetic way of speaking, and then that goes on further. And then page 2, a little bit more. Not everybody was literate. Not everybody could write. So these scribes, there's a scribe who would who was very learned. They were powerful people. They controlled all the records for the government, the law, and the gods. Like, if you were a scribe, like, you were the smartest person around. And like, because you were the only one who could read and write. And back then, there weren't a lot of people who could read and write. So you were high status, smart. But then, as we start to write and put things down, we get to the Code of Hammurabi. I can't say it right. It's this tall thing. This is where carved in stone came from, for the most part. This leader, Hammurabi, set up laws. And instead of them being arbitrary, there was this giant column in the middle of his city in which every law was carved in stone. So everybody knew every law. And then this is side stuff, and I think it's in the book. And he wasn't a nice guy. So if you broke the law, it was like death. Hands were cut off. They could just be like, nope, see here in this thing in the middle of the town, you did this one thing, it's illegal. Boom, your hands are cut off, or whatever it may be. So that's where, like, when people were able to write and starting to change, it changed civilization in a big way. How do we know how to read everything? Well, we didn't for a long time until somebody figured out the Rosetta Stone was created. It was created by, and then lost, and then discovered. And what that made is it was the key to history because it featured the same decree in 3 scripts: hieroglyphs, Demotic, and Greek. And so because we knew Greek writing, we could backpedal and then backpedal. And then that's how we were able to read hieroglyphs, is because these are all written. These 3 things are the same information, just written in 3 different languages. But 3 different languages through time. Pretty crazy. We look up here, people walking around with clay tablets, with clay little things in their pockets. They even drilled holes, and then you could carry them. That means you have to have clay with you. You have to do all this stuff. Finally, paper was created. Papyrus, the first paper. Lightweight, portable, made from a renewable source on the rivers. Far easier to transport and store than heavy clay tablets. So then that changed things. Then that makes it easier. Instead of, you can carry more documents, you can store more documents, you can write more on the document. It's a bigger piece of paper rather than this 3x3 stone. Kind of crazy. And then I threw this one in, identification and branding. Mesopotamia, they used these cylinder seals, and they were just considered like a logo. So when you were to sign something, you would have this cylinder. They're small. This makes it kind of seem big. They're pretty tiny. And then you would ink it and you would roll it across, and that would be your signature, or it'd be your style. Or think of Asian stamps. They have their name, very specific name stamps that they use in artwork. And it's the own design, and once you have it, it's yours. But that's the same thing. And so this was like branding. It's my brand on that. That means I own that thing. That is mine. So a cute little, fun little thing there. So that's some information. I want you to dig into the book as well. Don't just take it straight from this. There's far more interesting stuff in the book as well. So take a look around. All right. So you're going to read the book. You're going to go peruse this. You're going to find your subject matter, and then you're going to get started on the project. So I'm going to just click over. I'm going to move some things, and I'm going to read it off to you. But I'm going to open a new document in Illustrator and show you how I want to do stuff. And I'll take you all the way through the saving process, even though I won't have anything put in, because I know you guys you should all know how to use Illustrator for the most part, but it's best to like, I'm just going to walk you through some stuff. And I might gather some stuff and do a design, but I think I'm going to concentrate more on the project A on Thursday than this one. So I'm going to go File and New, or you can go back out to the Home, go to New File. So follow these exact steps to create your Illustrator document. I don't know if I can squish it into 2 windows. It's going to be too hard to see. Create a print document that is 7 inches wide by 5 inches tall. So you just type 7, tab 5. We got that down, right? Width by height. Bleed. Set a bleed of 0.25 inches. That's already set on mine. Once you type it in, it usually keeps it. You can do whatever your background you want. CMYK is good for the color point. And then if we get more settings, is there anything else to add? No. So you create your document. All right, so that's the bleed. There's my artboard. There's my bleed. Now I'm going to create a margin layer. So I'm going to double click on this. I'm going to call it margin. And the margin's in the inside indicator of how to not put anything too close to the edge of your document so it gets cut off during the print phase. That's what a margin is. You're always going to work with margins no matter what. There's a client's going to give you, a printer is going to give you a piece and they're going to say the margin is this. Now it's just not an arbitrary box. I'm going to go over here and it says draw a box that is 6.5 by 4.5 inches. Center the box perfectly on the artboard. Well, I can just come to this align section, and if I click here and I click here, it perfectly centers it for me here and here. Use that, the align and the shape builder and distribute spacing. Great tools. I use them every day. And then I want my box also. This is the main one, which I kind of skipped ahead. For it with no fill. So when I go to the fill, this red line, no fill, and the stroke should be magenta. I want it 1 point. 1 point stroke. Why? I see people do it in purple, black, other colors. Magenta is the industry standard for marking of a margin on a piece. That's why. I do it all the time. That's why. Why magenta? It's the industry standard. We just do it. Now, to make sure things are centered, you're going to turn on your ruler. I know the shortcut for the ruler, or you go to View, then you go to Rulers and hide rulers. So the shortcut shows right there. Start to use your shortcuts. Makes life faster and easier design. I'm going to pull a guide from here to here and here to here. What does that do? It shows me the exact center of my artboard. It lets me know. It's just giving you graphic design indicators all over the place. Now, my margin is almost done, but I'm going to make sure my margin is selected. I'm going to go to this hamburger menu. That 3 lines is called a hamburger menu. And I'm going to click template. What that's going to do is it's going to change the I symbol to this little box, and it's going to lock it. What that means is it's not going to show up when you make a PDF. This margin is only for your eyes only. Nobody else sees it. If you share, we share documents with other designers. The margin is going to be there for them. They get to see it. They get to use it. That's why we set it as a template, though. It won't show up anywhere else. It won't mistakenly print. So I'm going to check that. Now we're going to create some crop marks. So I'm going to create a new layer. I'm going to call it crop marks. And this whole process, me talking through it, takes forever. This process should take you 5 minutes at the most, and you're going to do it for every project you ever do from here on out. You should always be doing this. It's needed, because then you don't want to get in the real world and then somebody's like, where are the crop marks? What about the margin? You're like, oh, I don't know. Like, no, they're in. So crop marks. Name the layer crop marks. Draw a box the exact size of the document. That's easy. It just snaps to it. With no fill and no stroke. Okay, no fill is checked. Oh, I'm a little bit off. Let's go exactly 7 by 7. 7 by 5. I want to be exact. I'm a graphic designer. And then I can make sure it's perfectly aligned. No fill. no stroke. But why would you even do that then, right? But then I'm going to go down here. There's this little FX button. FX, like that's what it stands for, FX, like the, special FX. But the third one down is crop marks. If you click that, it automatically puts in your crop marks, and then you just lock that layer. Don't make it a template. You want to lock it because you do want those to show up for the printer. Then I'm going to create, and then like wherever you want to start, then I'm going to create a layer. Those should generally be at the top. I'm going to create a layer, it's title. I'm going to create a layer that is images. Create a layer that is paragraph and background. Of course, I'm going to put the background last, lowest, because, as you know, these are like pieces of glass. So, and then rearrange, move the margin layer to the top of the list, move the crop marks layer below that. So I usually just have its margin top, crop marks next, and then its title paragraph, background needs to be the last. This is the setup, and that's what it should look like. And then you work in these areas, you lock your crop marks, you lock your margin. I will get people who get disgruntled. They don't like the pink line. You can just click that, but I'm going to click it back on and be like, you have a ton of stuff past the margin. Why is it past there? Or I get a ton of people who forget to turn off the fill. And when they start designing, there's a big white box here and are too lazy to just go back, click on their box and go to fill and hit no fill and then just return the work. So I check all this. I'm going to be checking that, and that's in that. Did you use bleed correctly? Did you use margin correctly? Speaking of bleed, the artboard is the edge of the artboard, not the edge of the artwork. If you have anything, I have this box. Now I'm just going to flip this just so we can see it. And I want the box to start here at the edge of the artboard. Well, that box actually has to extend all the way to the bleed. If you have a background and you're like, I want the background to be light blue. Well, that background actually has to extend all the way to the bleed, not just stopping at the artboard. The reason being is the crop marks indicate where the piece is going to be cut. But when printing and cutting, it's not an exact science. Things shift. So this allows room that if the cut, if I zoom in, say the guillotine, it's called a guillotine that cuts images, shifts over time like 1/8 of an inch, and you have something that comes up to the edge, then what's going to happen is there's going to be a white space. So that's why we use bleed. Bleed helps make your pieces look professional and run all the way to the edge, and it accounts for all errors. I'm going to move this object, arrange, bring to front. So like if you want something and you want it on the page and you don't want it touching the edge, then use the margin. If you want something to line up with this edge, then make sure it extends past all the way to the bleed. Does that make sense to everybody on how to use those? I'll get you through it eventually. You'll learn it. So there's that. Then the other thing. So we save our document. You save it with the correct name. Bring this up real quick, which is like your first initial, last name, chapter 1. And then you're going to save one for the client and then for the print. So when saving the PDF or exporting, I'm just going to go to File. I do Export As. You can do Save As in Illustrator, but because InDesign and Illustrator both export the PDFs, I keep that in the same wheelhouse that I just go to Export As, Adobe PDF. Now I'm going to do the client one first. And then what it's JSKAJA underscore chapter 1. And then I'm going to underscore, and I'm going to call it client, or I don't even have to underscore. I'm just going to go client. And then I'm going to hit export. And what's going to pop up is this. All right. So make sure Adobe PDF preset is set to smallest file size. So I'm just going to go to smallest file size. All right. You can do either one of these. I'm going to just do the top one. And I'm going to show you a trick. Once you get these correct, you can save these PDF settings and just link to them. You just go right to it. But you have to make sure you get them correct first. Then make sure the view PDF after saving box is checked. View PDF after saving. Why do you have that? Because it's going to open the PDF and you're going to look at it and you'll notice any of your errors. You'll be like, oh, there's a bunch of things wrong. Then close that PDF, go and fix it, and then resave it, like re-export the PDF. Check for your mistakes. And then we're going to go to marks and bleeds because this is for the client. And we're going to make sure nothing is checked under marks and bleeds. All right? Nothing's checked. I'm going to hit export PDF. And it pops up here. And this is my client one. Right? It's perfect. Nothing's there. Just like Page's client one. It is what it is. And you can see on this one how the margins were used and everything. Perfect. Then you just go back to this and go to File, Export, Export As. And then I got to rename it. Maybe it's. There we go. And then I'm going to type in press. And again, like once you do this once or twice, it'll be really quick. And then in a week or two, I'll show you like how to save it. So once everybody's doing correctly, you'll save a PDF system in here where you're like, this is for the printer. If I just click that, it has all my settings saved, and then boom, you click it, hit export PDF, and you're done. And you know every time it's correct. So for the client or for the press one, I want to use press quality, which will make sure all my images are 300 DPI or higher. Make sure view PDF after saving is on. And then I'm going to go to marks and bleed. I only want to see trim marks and use document bleed settings. All right. Trim marks is all you need, and use document bleed settings. We don't need all of them. Some people just run and do that one. It's fine, but it's not needed. You just need trim marks. Now, when I export this PDF, it's got the trim marks, it's got the bleed showing, and a printer will see this and be like, perfect, great, good to go. Thank you. So, and then in this, I should have like a little highlight of the ones, what to use, what not to use. Just so you can, if you're like, what did he do? What should be? So there you go. Any questions, comments, or concerns at this point? All right, I will let you work on this, get this in your heads. You can knock out your attendance, look at the book, read through the book a little bit, maybe set up your document, just do that kind of stuff. And then on Thursday, we'll talk about your little quick title assignment and then the longer project A part 1, because then I can build this out with you as well, show you how I build it in InDesign and stuff like that. So yeah, you know how to reach me. Please reach out to me if you have any questions, comments, or concerns about things. The more questions you ask, the better you're going to do. Yeah, use this last 25 minutes to start on stuff, knock things out. Some classes will run longer, some will be shorter. As we get in the groove with things, I'm always going to be, teaching you about the design. I will be doing projects with you, not just the setup, but every once in a while I'll be like, here, let me show you what I would do. Because then I can show you tricks and tips along the way. Like, oh, did you know you could do this in Illustrator? Like set this up like this and it makes it quicker. Or look at this effect you can do. And I'm always like think that's super rad to be able to see that kind of stuff or see how I work as, you know, it's like a YouTube thing. It's like, how do people do what they do? You get to see that. So, all right. I always know like the first week's a little bit crazy, but we'll settle in Thursday. We'll take care of these 2 items. It'll be cool. I'll do these 2 more in depth, and we'll all be good. So reach out to me if you have any questions, comments, or concerns. Other than that, I'll see you on the discussion boards, hopefully. All right. Take care. Bye-bye.